it's in that transition phase where it will end up on the metaverse type thing. So that's why I think they're not so concerned about the number of teachers that they've lost, even dropping the mandates, when they've realised that there's 30-odd thousand teachers in Queensland that were mandated, and now half of them are not even returning to the classrooms. It's created some massive problems. A teacher, I ran into a teacher friend last week, and I said, oh, the mandates have just dropped. How are you feeling? She goes, I cried for half an hour. So that's an interesting response from someone who's had 3 jabs, that you had a intense emotional response to the mandates being dropped. Was it out of fear, out of sadness? And she goes, I'm so relieved. Hopefully they'll let some teachers come back in and we won't have to be working 24 hours a day every day.
Wow.
Often supervising 3 classes at once.
Truth. Glad I pulled my kid out.
3 classes at once. And you hear stories, there's stories, office ladies, the office ladies were set up in the gym.
Yeah.
Because all the classes that they couldn't cover, they just send them to the gym for the kids to play ball games or sit there and read quietly. And the office ladies were supervising them.
Oh, my God.
Trying to do their office work at these trestle tables while watching 8, 9, 10 classes in the gym.
So do you think perhaps this might have been a motivating force for the relaxation of these mandates, is that everybody's just pulling their hair out going, we can't handle it?
That, and the fact that the teachers are remaining, even though they've thought that they were protected from COVID, actually found out that they're more sick.
Yeah.
And
so have you spoken to teachers
repeatedly? Yeah.
that have been sick as a result?
Yes, yeah. 6 or 7 times.
Right.
Some teachers have had 6 or 7 times.
So they've been sick 6 or 7 times after supposedly being protected, because I've never been sick.
No. I did convoy to Canberra.
Yeah.
Did the whole convoy to Canberra thing, and that was fantastic. I took my girls with me, the 2 14-year-old girls. Every town, every step of the way, we're hugging, we're talking, we're,
being human.
Being human. People are setting up smorgasbords from the food that they cooked in their kitchen at home. Set up smorgasbords, and we're all eating all this shared food, hugging, all the way to sleep deprived, sleeping 4 hours a night. You think you'd be run down by the time you got to Canberra, and you'd be sick, and it was not the case at all, which was amazing.
Yeah, that is. We did the convoy ourselves. It's another story I'll get to it at some point. I've just got so much footage and so many cool stories to tell about what happened there. Like, it was amazing. It really was amazing.
I was unprepared for how significant it actually was. Obviously, I wasn't working. The girls were still deciding whether or not they were going to go back to school, and the convoy to Canberra was actually the week school started. And the girls actually said, we don't think we want to go back to school. We don't feel like we've got a future. We feel we need to take a stand, and we'd like to go do the convoy to Canberra.
And how old are you girls again? Sorry?
14.
14.
The twins.
So, 14 years old, and they're already looking into the crystal ball of future and going, something's got to be done. Something's got
to change because this is not good. Filled up the esky, didn't touch it the whole time because every stop that you made, the freedom groups were there, and they giving away so much stuff.
Yeah, it was amazing. The community support during Canberra was just
$50 goes in your pocket. Yeah. We can't go there, we really do, but thanks for representing us. Take
it was amazing how many people did that. I can't physically do it, but here's my donation because you're going to be like, we were their representative, because clearly our local representatives weren't representing us at all.
Even towns that you didn't stop at, people were over bridges with signs, thank you, and supporting us with balloons and streamers. Just under this overbridge here, there's a family on the back of a ute. So the front person peels off to go and talk to them, and we're all honking and waving, and they come back and they tell the story. They were from a property, a station, 3 hours inland, 3 hours west. They packed their kids and dogs up on the ute to drive 3 hours to the highway with their signs for their kids just to wave at us
Wow.
and say thanks for supporting us and thanks for making a stand.
It's amazing, isn't it?
And then that family would have had to drive another 3
Yeah.
hours to get back home. And that's all they did, was stood on the side of the road, just like...
Just cheering people on. Yeah, there's so many moments like that you felt like you're just happy crying, you know, when you see things like that.
It's like we're not alone.
Yeah.
I thought we were the only ones. I thought my family and I thought we were the only ones that were like taking a stand. But what that convoy to Canberra showed us, that our numbers are massive, huge.
Yeah.
There's so many freedom warriors.
Definitely safe to say thousands and thousands of people were there in Canberra. Some people have said millions. I don't know about at any one time there being millions. There may have been people sort of pass it through, do what they can and keep moving on. Collectively, I reckon you could possibly say there'd be at least 1 million to 2 million, you know, at different times. Yeah. Like you said, it's not just those who did show up on those specific times or days, you know, it was the amount of people around the community that were cheering people on, providing food, you know, supporting in any way they could, you know. But behind the scenes at the park there, the amount of food and clothing and stuff that was...
and money that people were giving. People were putting together activity packs for kids, putting together whole packs with colouring in books and snacks and joke books and things like that, and people were just handing them out to people with kids. And it showed us the numbers of people who are sovereign warriors and can think for themselves and take a stand. That's heartwarming. Back
to, you know, the mandate situation, you know, that's it. You've got a better life now. You're not... Do you have any intention of potentially returning to the education system in the future? Unless something drastically changes, no. If it's still under the same system and they're still operating the same way with the same curriculum, no, it needs a big overhaul. For me to ethically put my whole effort and weight behind something, I need to agree with it. I can't half-heartedly do something or be there if I don't agree with it. I can't fake it. No, that's fair enough, and you know, nobody should be doing that. Whether you're trying to change it from within or whether you just, that's it, I've had enough, we're going to find a better way, something's got to give, you know, we can't keep conforming. And here's another idea. What about the idea of, you know, building our own new system here? Yes, you know? That's like, what, because obviously the private schools aren't private anymore. No. So we need, you know, an actual private system where we are completely shut away from this crap and able to conduct ourselves under basic principles of, you know, whether it be, you know, a deity of some form or, you know, just whether we actually adhere to the Constitution, which would have been nice. Section 5123A, that should have been the end of it. And once you apply Section 109, any state law that conflicts with this, out the window. How the states are able to do things against the Constitution is still mystifying me. How they've overlaid their own laws over the top of an actual Constitution. Totally unlawful. And they've done it while we were all been asleep. I mean, I don't know about you. I was never taught the Constitution in school. No. You know, and we're certainly not teaching it to this next generation. No. So, I mean, how many generations have we gone through of ignorance of our own basic Constitution? Like, I mean, that's the founding They barely teach the fake one. Yeah. They barely teach the fake one and how kids are supposed to vote and how the structure of what they've got going on works. No one knows. Yeah. The latest election was a good example. Oh, yeah. All the stuff that was shaken out of that process. It's the amount of people had no idea. They're walking up and they still haven't figured out who they're voting for. You could just see steam pouring out of some people's ears. They're just angry that they even had to go and encourage this system. I did pre-polling. I was helping Tony McMahon with IMOP and a couple of the other independents. And some of the people you see is just fantastical. You get the old ones that are, I voted Labor all my life. My parents voted Labor. I'm only going to vote Labor. Don't talk to me about anything else. Labor. Yeah.
And you think, but things change.
Yeah, well, it's certainly changed. I mean, I could forgive people for once upon a time being for, the party that's supposed to be the people's party.
Traditionally, we're a Labor family, that used to be the way.
Yeah, I found, particularly in the education system and, building industry and all that, the Labor's got your back, the unions
Well,
are there.
they used to stand for the hard-working, blue-collar, battler. No.
Yeah, they've abandoned everyone. I honestly do not believe that Labor won this election.
No,
like the amount of
way.
people that they robbed, like who voted for them? I certainly didn't.
The Townsville Freedom Group were trying to, remember end of last year, they had teachers and parents specifically concerned about the education system and how we can change it or start to change it or do things a little bit differently, just starting with our own group. There was some movement, like someone had some business acumen and they said, from a business perspective, I can set up a business model that possibly will have one administration role and then teachers can have learning hubs from their home. So, for example, I'll be a learning hub coordinator, facilitator, not so much a teacher, but I'll facilitate. So I'm happy to take maybe 10 high school age students during the day and supervise them on their work. So that's not planning and not writing the work, but I can give them extension work if they want to.
So you said 10's a reasonable number to be able to work with?
It depends. Primary school teachers would probably say I'm only happy with 4 kids all day. It depends on their house and their space, their internet speed, what they're comfortable with. So the point was that we were looking at setting up individual hubs where parents that went to work could take their kid to be supervised during school hours and make sure that they're doing their schoolwork and helping with it and offering assistance. So that sounded all well and good. Movement was happening to start that up. And then next thing, there were individual businesses. People just ran with it themselves, which was fine. So an individual said, okay, I'm operating out of Anoomba, for example, and I'm happy to take 6 kids, primary school kids.
Yeah.
And started doing the flyers. So people have already started doing that and organising businesses and they can be accessed.
So our new world order is on its way. It's developing, I mean, the opposition, the enemy for some perhaps, have been working at this for a very long time, and a lot of people have only just recently woken up. So there's still a lot of new wonderful ideas to come about as a better way to go about
There's a big group of people in South America who have started the Greater Reset.
Yep.
So they're running workshops and you can access it all online through BitChute or Rumble and things like that. You can zoom into their meetings and they do things, all the old-fashioned homesteading stuff. They've even got programs on how to make free energy.
Yeah. Well, there's a big no-no. We don't want. Ergon's going to get upset about that one.
I don't know enough about it, but it sounds exciting, doesn't it?
Does,
we all want that.
Well, for sure, it'd solve a lot of problems. I mean, my power bill's not exactly nice, and I've got solar. Well, thank you very much for coming in today. It's been a wonderful chat, and I hope this has been very informative for you people out there too. Homeschooling, I recommend it. We've got a teacher of 30 years recommending it.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty safe to say that we've at least won a battle in this mandate situation, where those of us and people like yourselves, the teachers who have gone, no, we're not playing, we're not going to do this, have gone and found a better way to live their lives, and now the system that has turned on us are the ones that are hurting.
That's right. So we can't hate totally on COVID. It has been a catalyst for a lot of us to pull our socks up and say, hang on a minute, are you living your best life? Are you living the way that you feel that you should be living? Do you have that work-life balance? Do you have neglective parenting skills, or are you attentive and intentional with your parenting and your children? Because let's face it, they're the future.
Yeah.
And they've got some big decisions to make.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the government for waking so many people up, giving us amazing opportunities that we might not have had they not been the evil people that they are.
Awesome.
So
love it.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
We might catch up again in the future. We'll see what happens.
Great. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, North Queensland. Don't forget to donate if you've enjoyed this. Share it around. You know, anything you can do to help support the channel will be great for me and other lovely people who would like to come and express their opinion. If you've got a story that you'd like to share, please look into the comments, emails there, just drop us a line and we will come out and hear what you've got to say, because we know the mainstream ain't going to tell you. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.